wanted to give you a little tour of this new asset that I've made available for free on my website. So this is a content planner and tracker, and this is the exact same framework that I used as an editorial director, a senior director of content, a managing editor, you name it, at major digital publishers. And I'm bringing it exactly to you in its slightly tweaked form here for completely free in Google Sheets so that you can organize your content system and operations just like the big brands do. And so, obviously, starting here with the title, not a huge surprise there. Live link. This is what you'll paste in from your website once it goes live, because not only should this be a way to help you organize things as you're working on them, this should also be a source of truth as to what is in your content library. And so if you have an article about a particular topic that you want to send to a client or share on social or include in an e-newsletter, you can easily come here and find it and not have to go search through your entire WordPress history and dig that information up. And then category and pillar, I've left this essentially blank here because this is going to really depend on who you are, what you discuss, but you probably have 4 or 5 topics you repeat on a regular basis. And so go ahead and update these, use this edit button and make them work for you. And then overall status, again, I've given you a ton of options here. So some of these may not apply to you. If you're a team of 1 and you have no editor, you can go ahead and edit all or remove all of these edit options. If you are not doing formal briefs, you can go ahead and remove those. If there are additional steps in your process, you can go ahead and click this edit button and add in or change any of these as it makes sense for your business and your unique operation. Assigned to, I have a name field here. And so again, if it's just you, you can assign them all to yourself. Or if you have a team that you're working with, you can go ahead and assign them to individuals there. And then another thing to note is that this may change throughout the process. So if you have someone who's writing it, you can assign it to the writer. If you have a different person who's taking the content from a Google Doc and putting it into your website, then you can change assign to that person. And that will signal to that person that it's time for them to do something. Draft due date, this is simply a note to the writer as to when that's due for them. And then I also have template or article type. And again, you may not need all of these. You may need to add more or change these. I just put some really common article types here. So informational, how-to, listicle, news trends, and case studies. Feel free to tweak this list as you see fit. And then if you're doing content briefs, which are basically, like I mentioned, outlines, helpful information, etc., for whoever is writing the content, you can link to them there. I highly recommend just using Google Docs for this. Makes it really simple and straightforward. Image status. So if you are needing images for your content, which I highly recommend, you can update the status here as you go. Publish date. I recommend that you include the date that everything gets published, because then it's a really good way to be able to go back and remember, oh, it's been a year since I touched this piece. Maybe I should update it. And it's just a nice way to see, hey, here's how long it's really been since this went live. And then I have a priority checkbox here. I did not do low, medium, or high, because why would you be working on something that was a low priority anyway? I simply have a checkbox here for priorities. So if something is a news or a trends piece, or it's more pressing than others, you can just indicate that here with the checkbox. And then same here for writer and editor. It's very similar to the assigned to field. So again, if you don't have a writer or editor, you can simply delete these columns. But if work is going to be handled by multiple people, this is where I would recommend doing that. So there's just a quick tour of that sheet. And then on the other sheet, I created just a really quick idea bank for